You buy a cheap, aging base model to get from A to B. Almost immediately, you want to upgrade it, shape it, make it yours. The aftermarket industry thrives on that exact desire. They sell cheap, bolt-on parts promising aggressive aesthetics. But they bury the fine print, the mechanical wear, the ruined ride quality, and the attention you'll get from local law enforcement. The reality is that most of these cars are rapidly depreciating assets. True modernization doesn't come from sticking plastic performance vents on a commuter car. It comes from strategic, high-value contact point upgrades. Modifying a daily driver is an exercise in capital allocation. Spend your budget correctly, and you maximize the enjoyment of every commute. Spend it wrong, and you destroy whatever value the car had left. To evaluate if an upgrade makes financial and mechanical sense, we can look at this matrix. It plots the cost and effort you put in against the visual and functional impact you get out. Top left is the high-return, low-risk zone. These modifications yield maximum aesthetic improvement for a minimal budget without compromising your ride quality or breaking any traffic laws. Bottom right is the high-cost, high-risk trap. This is where aggressive styling choices directly translate into mechanical failure, voided insurance policies, and heavy fines. Applying this framework to your shopping cart is the only reliable way to prevent turning a functional vehicle into a financial liability. The most effective place to start is the absolute baseline. For $100 to $200 and a dedicated weekend of physical labor, you can tackle professional-grade interior detailing, paint correction, and headlight restoration. You are actively erasing years of visual aging. Restoring hazy headlights ensures safer night driving by bringing optical clarity back to factory spec. And correcting the clear coat creates a pristine exterior foundation. The trade-off here is sweat equity. It requires serious patience, and those results will degrade over time if you don't seal the paint with a proper ceramic coating or wax. Once the paint is clean, you can grab a heat gun and some dental floss to remove the factory model emblems from the trunk. It costs $0. Taking the base model badges off the rear bumper cleans up the visual profile. It leaves a sleeker, premium European aesthetic that makes the car look intentionally understated. But do not fall into the trap of up-badging. Sticking an M or GTI badge on a standard commuter model doesn't fool anyone. Among car enthusiasts, it carries a severe negative return on investment. Restorative work provides the highest objective ROI because you are improving the vehicle without altering a single piece of the factory engineering. The exact opposite of that zero-risk baseline is installing plus-sized aftermarket cast alloy wheels and low-profile tires. People flock to this upgrade because it drastically improves the side profile. It aggressively fills the wheel arches, mimicking the stance of a sports car. But cheap cast alloys are heavy. Adding that unsprung weight to the corners of your car negatively impacts both your acceleration and your fuel economy. Then there's the rubber. Low-profile tires lack the sidewall thickness needed to absorb impacts. Every harsh road imperfection transmits directly into the cabin, ruining the factory ride quality. If you don't calculate the overall rolling radius perfectly, incorrect wheel and tire sizing will alter the car's gearing, leaving you with permanent speedometer errors. To complete that look on a tight budget, owners often turn to the highest risk modification available, cutting the factory suspension springs to artificially lower the car. The mechanical outcome is catastrophic. It destroys the suspension geometry, blows out the factory shock absorbers, and guarantees the undercarriage will scrape on standard speed bumps. It is also a massive regulatory hazard. Structurally modifying suspension components makes a vehicle highly illegal and entirely uninsurable in strictly regulated regions. Altering the physical connection between your car and the road demands proper engineering. Cutting corners on suspension destroys basic drivability. That brings us to the modifications that guarantee immediate scrutiny from law enforcement: free-flowing aftermarket exhausts and heavily tinted windows. The goal is usually an aggressive, audible street presence, elevated interior privacy, and cabin heat rejection during the summer. But strict jurisdictions penalize drivers the moment window visibility drops below the legal 70% threshold. The escalating penalties for a modified exhaust are even steeper. You're looking at massive fines, registration cancellation, and potential impoundment. Even if you dodge the police, cheap aftermarket exhausts create a constant, vibrating highway drone that ruins your ability to hold a conversation or listen to music on long drives. Trading legal compliance and daily comfort for temporary street attention carries an unacceptable long-term cost. Instead of chasing exterior clout, the smartest money goes inside the cabin, specifically replacing an outdated single-DIN radio with a modern Apple CarPlay or Android Auto unit. Spending around $300 on an established brand head unit, paired with a fitted set of floor mats, completely modernizes the functional commute. It eliminates the crusty, dated feel of an older interior. The specific trade-off here is visibility. This budget allocation is completely hidden from people outside the car, and you have to resist the false economy of $100 knockoff screens. They suffer from frustrating touch latency and look significantly cheaper than factory equipment. Interior modernization offers the absolute best return on investment. It directly enhances the only environment where you actually experience the vehicle. To finalize your strategy, we can map your budget and risk tolerance on this flowchart, which breaks down into 3 distinct paths. For the budget-conscious DIYer, the path is strict. Focus entirely on restorative baseline work, the ink correction, and interior detailing. You have to accept a clean factory look over an aggressive aesthetic, but in exchange, you retain total ride comfort and avoid all legal friction. The middle path is for the OEM plus pragmatist. This means investing in CarPlay, keeping window tints within legal limits, and sourcing OEM alloys from higher trims. You accept higher upfront costs. However, you perfectly preserve the vehicle's resale value, guarantee legal compliance, and benefit from exact factory-engineered hub fits. The bottom path is for the stance and performance chaser. If you choose to change the suspension geometry, you must commit to properly engineered coilovers and forged or flow-formed wheels. You are sacrificing daily ride comfort, spending significantly more capital, and accepting the burden of navigating complex structural and emissions laws. Cutting financial corners on this specific performance path leads directly into the trap of high cost and high mechanical risk. A truly sporty car is defined by engineering cohesion and rigorous maintenance. It is not defined by fake scoops, cut springs, or illegal noise. The smartest automotive investment you can make is aligning your modifications strictly with the unglamorous reality of your daily commute.